if you want to be a chef, don't give up. There's gonna be moments that you don't want to give up. Those are the moments you gotta hold on and put your together. Grab your knife. You have a good attitude. Things are gonna get better. So to have faith more than anything. So I'm Egil Valentin. I'm from Puerto Rico. I've been a chef for about 27 years. I went to school in French Culinary Institute in New York City. Worked in New York for like 10 years. Worked for like about 2 years in Connecticut. Uh, open open a Nuevo Latino restaurant, one best restaurant. The first year I opened it. Then after that, moved back to New York. September 11 happened, and my former wife was a chef. So she's from Houston. So she said, "Why don't we go to Austin?" So came to Austin, started working as a professor. I was a culinary teacher, Le Cordon Bleu. I worked for several years, teach the protein class, butchering class. Um, it was a great experience, you know. It was like a cooking show. The students would watch me like cook, and then they will ask questions while I cook, and it was more interactive and cooking type of class. And then they will go and produce what I cook,
Okay.
and so then by teams, and then they will come to me with the food. I will taste it, and I would grade it. so it was a lot of fun. Then after that, uh, I always wanted to be a well-rounded chef. Like I wanted to be able to work in different jobs as a chef. I wanted to do retail. I wanted to do catering. I wanted to do stadiums. I wanted to do education, and I accomplished that by climbing the ladder little by little. So um, I was the chef of a Japanese Latino restaurant after teaching, and then I went to I work also retail with Central Market, which is like a huge like company. So I was executive sous chef, and as executive sous chef, it's you gotta have a lot of people skills. You gotta be able to really look at people eye to eye. You gotta make sure that people are comfortable with you, in the sense of like there's all about respect. I mean, we're a team, and you don't have to be telling people that you're the chef. People know you are. You gotta be portrayed as a team player. If something happens, you hop in, you teach how it's done, and if it's not done, then you come back and you ask, again. It's just, I mean, it's you have to multitask at the same time. You gotta look for everything that is hazard, that is safety. You always have to be looking for safety boxes or anything, floor, quality assurance. The restaurant had the supermarket had a restaurant, so I was in charge of the restaurant. So I did also research and development. Um, I work for this company. They're closed, but that they will make really funky sausages, like really like awkward combinations. Like antelope with
Yeah.
rattlesnake and pork. So I helped to develop that um, with this company that has been since the NT hundreds here in Austin.
Mhm.
Um, we will have them on retail and we will have them at the restaurant. And it was people liked it. They had some financial problems, and like everything, they couldn't keep going. So so then I was thinking I want down the road to work in education, because education is like you learn how to be a chef all over again. All the regulations, all the it's totally different. So I have to go in and learn my way in. I had uh, 14 schools and tons of different employees, and that was another thing that honed my skills when it comes to people skills, and to how to manage and how to be a leader. I mean, a leader, I think, acts as an example. If they don't see you like following what needs to be done, they won't do it. So I have my schools, and I will go in, say hi to everybody, and the main thing to me is that you know their names, and that's one of the coolest things. You say, "Hey, Maria, how's Jose? How's your husband? Doing okay? Are you doing good? That's fantastic." And then you keep moving and see what the problems is, troubleshooting a lot, checking their inventory, checking safety, again, quality assurance. So that was for a couple of years, and that was a great experience uh, to get to know like how it works. If you learn how it works, it's very intricate. It's very different. Um, then I work in a stadium, and that was like the hardest job I think of my life. When I started working, the stadium wasn't finished. So we were working on putting everything together, menus, everything. We were working on a part of the stadium. We were only five of us for a stadium that seats 22,000. And, and then we were a crew of
Oh my
15.
God.
And, and I was the chef de cuisine, so I was in charge of everything that had to do with food. Like, so we have four restaurants, 27 VIP rooms. We had concessions like 37. We had catering. We had main kitchen. We had, it was a beast. It was like a big, big, big monster. Uh, so what we did is like we split all the chefs in all the different places, and the day of the a game, we will have temps, and temps will come to help, about like 50 or 70 of them, and each chef will manage their crew. The thing that I have to say about that job is that teach me it was organization and precision. Uh, you have to really, really be very organized in something in a venue that big, because it can go really, really dark in a minute.
Sure.
So I mean, it was a fast paced type of thing. Again, troubleshooting, making sure all your VIPs are like doing well. Something happens, make sure everything is legit. So everything, you know what I mean. Everything that we did, we started it like 4 days before the game. So 4 days before the game was like from 8 in the morning to 2 in the morning. So
Insane.
and that was the main reason that I left after the first season. I had no life.
Hmm.
I couldn't see my kids. I'm divorced with two kids, and I couldn't. I didn't have time to spend with them. So I made the decision that wasn't healthy. Um, private chefing is something that I had did before. I tried to open a private chef and catering company with my ex-wife, and we did it for a little while, but it didn't work the way we wanted. But I had a couple of affluent clients, and I knew already how to handle that. So so I found the client, and it was it's again that's this is a different thing too, being a private chef, because it's you have there's a line of like being friendly and knowing when to you have to know when you know the family, you know how to
Hmm.
behave, what to say. You don't want it to. It's very intimate. It's like being in your house. You you hear things that maybe you don't have to, and that's why you sign an NDA. And uh, but at the same time, when you're a private chef, the main thing of a private chef is like to please your customer. That's the main thing of private chef. They pay you for that. They pay you for whenever they open the refrigerator that there's like tons of stuff. That whenever they want it, I would like the snack or I would like this, you're ready to go. It's about pleasing, and it's about giving good customer service. And and you have to be well cultured. A lot of your a lot of your clients are people that they are like either movie stars or people that they are extremely rich, that they are like extremely smart. So you need to know a little bit about everything, and know how to handle yourself in situations when there's people around you that they're powerful. You have to turn into something else, into a super chef.
Okay, so wow, you have a really, really colorful career. So what would you say is like the best profession for a person in hospitality? If a young professional would come to you and say, like, I dream of being that, you'd be, okay, that's a great path.
Well, I mean, if it comes to a chef, it's a very tough position. You have to start from the bottom, and you gotta be ready. The main thing is if you're here for the money, you're in the wrong business. The money comes later. After you pay your dues, after you main thing is to if you decide to be a chef is to build a good resume since the beginning. If you're gonna work in good restaurants. Make sure you work hard. Move to the other. Um, I think and determination. You have to be resilient. Uh, it's a tough business in the sense is when people are having a great time and sipping champagne, you're working. So there's no Mother's
Mm.
Day, there's no Christmas, there's no anything. You have to be, like committed to sacrifice, a lot of things. But the satisfaction, if you love to cook, the satisfaction of like creating something from a raw stage to something beautiful is something that a chef or an artist, strives for. Uh, just the fact that people, you're selling dreams, you're selling memories, So just the fact that people take that, with them, that is the satisfaction, and that's what we strive for. At least myself as a chef. Um, so 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 yeah, it's just a. I think you have to determine what is it that you want to do. I mean, if you want to go into this path, or you want to go into the hotel management and go and sit down on a desk in front of a computer. So, or you have the guts to get your knife and get in the kitchen. Uh, the main thing is not to think that whenever if you want to be a chef, you're gonna be calling the shots. You're very wrong, and I said that with an exclamation point. It's it took me years. When I was in New York, I live a very very tough life. I was eating parsley, I mean pasta with parsley and butter. Uh, I had no money whatsoever, but I had the passion and I knew where I was going. I knew that that wasn't be like that all the time, and I enjoy it. I enjoy that life, um, because it shows like being humble and humble in the sense of like you come from the bottom but you can get to the top if you work hard.
I was wondering, so you were saying that you had a lot of education in the different time of your career. And we have a lot of people who come to us for the podcast say that it's not the most essential thing for a career in like a restaurant industry to actually have a culinary school on your resume. So what do you think? What's your stance on that?
That's a really good question because I will probably have a different answer like right now.
Okay.
I went to culinary school because my grandmother was a chef, and um, I wanted. I mean, at that time, it was all about like culinary school. So so I went to school, but I have a lot of friends that made it from the bottom without going to culinary school. What they did is like they will volunteer to go and work and learn here, and then, or even dishwashers. You know, what I mean, go dishwashing, go and work in this station. You can do it. It's a little more difficult, sometimes, because when you have a culinary education, that usually tends to look at that. But the thing is, the difference between a culinary, student and a hustler, which is the one that is in the restaurant on the line, never went to school, but it's like a badass. It's a killer. You know, you it's that's it. That they don't teach you that in school. They don't teach you how to hustle. They don't teach you how to I don't know, how to have a tough skin. That they will abuse you at the beginning. I mean, it happened. I mean, you know, but the main thing I think is like, if you ask me today if I will say no. I would say that, I mean, one thing you have to think is right now culinary schools are like 45 grand. When you graduate, you make no money. Meaning, if you make 35,000 a year, you making it. It's like, a lot of money. But then you have to pay your loan. You have to, so you will gonna be in big debt if that happens. Because this business though is the business that not gonna make six figures in years, maybe never. So so it will. I think it will be really a really tough, like decision. Uh, don't take me wrong. In culinary school, they teach you techniques, they teach you all that. But you know what? You learn that at the restaurant for free. And and then when you have a good chef that teach you, and you learn all the tricks that they don't teach you in school. They don't teach you the attitude that you gotta have. The commodity of being a team. Like, no, because all you do is just learning. So what I did, and a lot of people do, is when I was going to school, I was working. I would go to like different like Michelin star restaurants and work for free for a meal. I would work for dinner. And that way I was in touch and I learned. And when I got out of the school, I learned my way in.
Why do you think there's so much turnover in the industry? People leave the industry all the time. They don't work for long. Why is that?
Well, it happens. One of the biggest things that happens is that there's not a um, uh, a people culture at the restaurant. People, if you treat people like in a not a good way, nobody wants to come and work for you. I think it's a lot about creating a culture of people feeling comfortable, creating a culture that people don't think about what they make. They come just to work and have a good time. You have to nourish them. And after September 11th, everything changed. Now it's all about people skills. Now it's all about, because if you don't have that, your cook is gonna leave for $1 next door. So you have to really know how to handle that part, which is not easy. Um, you have to have like the knowledge of like knowing what's right and what's wrong, what's priority, what's not. Uh, how not to put people in a situation that they feel that they don't know or stupid. You just gotta come. For example, you're doing something, and I will come and say, "Hey, this looks great, but what about if we do it this way?" And you way around that, you make that person part of the decision making, even though I know what's gonna happen. I know the answer, but you made them part. You make them feel part of like the decision making, or like whatever it is, like it needs to be done. So I think that's extremely important in order to have retention.
Mhm.
Which is very very difficult nowadays in restaurants. Is the retention is huge. It's not. Uh, Another thing is like cost of life is very high. So when you cook, you don't make that much money. So there's a lot of people that they're forced to have like two jobs. It's I mean, it's like I hear in Austin, it's extremely expensive. Like right here, if you want to live well, you gotta make six figures. It's I think you have to have not only in front of the house but the back, front of the house and the back of the house, they need to be together. In a lot of places, the front of the house is the front of the house and the back is the back, and is one against the
Mhm.
other. You know, if you found the trick is, if you found a way of blend both, is when you are very successful and you win stars. So the when you become one is when you're gonna flourish and when you're gonna like win something or get to the top for sure.
But do you see that this environment, this, well, we would say abusive environment, like has changed in the past years?
Well, I mean, when I was in New York, sometimes they hit you in the head or something like that. But I mean, soft or whatever. Um, you cannot do that right now. Right now, you'll be in big trouble. You have to like respect not only what you do but what you say. It can come against you. Especially when they're union.
Hmm.
Uh, I mean, you have to really treat people with tongues. So, and also that's not the way it is. You gotta have like respect, and that's not. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Abusive can be a chef that screams,
Hmm.
but people take that. I like that. That drives me. Like when the chef is pushing you, I like that. But there's people that they cannot take that and take it offensive. That's my adrenaline. Is that it's the whole dance of the chef calling and you calling back, and it's a beautiful thing. You know.
Okay. If you say so.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Um, okay, so what do you think is like the future for the industry? Because I see that a lot of people now complain about Gen Z and that they are not as hardworking as people before. So do you see that too, or?
I mean, the industry most definitely has changed completely. You know, these new cats, they bring new techniques and new thumbs here and thumbs there, and molecular gastronomy, and it's very ill conceived. People do it just for looks, and they don't go by flavor anymore. If I go to a restaurant, I want a steak. I don't want a steak that is half foam and half steak. So, so don't take me wrong. I mean, you use those techniques to enhance the dish, to make something fun that you'll be like, oh my god, what is that? To bring the wow effect, but not as part of the main thing of the dish. Um, I think that this new generation, they take a lot of shortcuts. They For you to extract the most out of them, you really need to micromanage. Um, they have lost a sense of pride, of like being a chef. I think it's uh, I mean, people of my generation would really have like respect, respect for the chef. The chef is everything.
Mhm.
And nowadays, they're treated, not bad, but not, in the same sense, so um, so it's very different. The way it's going, I think, is it's a capitalism. It's they're gonna keep popping up, everywhere, and you're gonna see like good things here and bad things there. And but there's a lot more restaurant groups. A lot of this like new generation, they make money, and they can come up with new concepts or things like that. And the bad thing is that they at least here in Austin, they're crushing the old classic restaurants that have been open for 30 years,
Mhm.
that they're iconic. And it comes this 30-year-old open like a very hip thing next to it, and a nightclub after the restaurant, and that's it. So it has happened a lot. And it's tough for our generation, because we we have seen like the change. We have seen like where it's going. I think the future is going to be plant based. Plant based is where it's going. I think that's going to be the next big thing. Everything's going to be plant based. I think I think at one point it's you're gonna see a lot more like vegetables
Mhm.
as like interest and things like that. And you've seen that like now. You've seen that a lot. And that's I love vegetables. So that's kind of my style. It's like taking vegetables and turn them into something like really like delicious, and something you have never tried. You try it and you're like, oh my god. So I think we're moving towards that, since the prices are so high
Mhm.
when it comes to like steaks, when it comes to like fish, when it comes to all that. We're gonna start, moving more into more in depth in farm to the table, uh, plant based items, vegetables, and I think it's gonna be It's gonna end up blending a mixologist with the chef and kind of combining like vegetables in the mixology department and make it kind of like as one. So there's a lot of things that they can be fun down the road.
Well, that sounds, the future sounds bright, and it sounds interesting at least. Maybe there's something that you would like to cover that we didn't talk about.
More than anything, like if you want to be a chef, don't give up. There's gonna be moments that you want to give up, and you want to just run and scream. Those are the moments you gotta hold on and put your together, and grab your knife, have a good attitude. Things are gonna get better, and you're gonna be better. So to have faith more than anything.